Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name's Claire and I'm a senior lecturer in physiotherapy, and this video is part 2 where we share with you the student experience of how to get the best grade possible. So I'm going to hand it over to Brenna and she's going to share with you her 6-stage process for what she would use to be preparing assignments and assessments. So I hope it's helpful. Thanks for watching.
Hello, I'm Brenna, a recent graduate in physiotherapy. So when I was at university, I soon learned how important it actually is to be able to use a mark scheme to get those higher grades. And that is because you can know a lot about a subject and you can write really good stuff about it, but if you're not specifically answering what it is they're looking for, then you won't get any marks for it. So I have put together a 6-step process which I used on how to incorporate mark schemes into your assignments. And this is relevant for whether it's an essay, a presentation, or even a practical. And this should help you get those higher grades. So step number 1 is I would look at the assignment brief and I would look for when is the deadline and what is the word limit or the time limit. And this will give you a clear indication of how much time you have to do the project and how big the project is, so you can start planning early. Step number 2 is to read the learning objectives. I would then copy and paste the learning objectives onto a separate Word document, which then become main headings. Then assign each learning objective a colour. Step number 3 is go read the description under each learning objective and find the key points. Then copy and paste those key points underneath the learning objective and those become subheadings. You now have a clear guide with focus questions that are based on the mark scheme to help you throughout your project and keep you focused. Step number 4. So for every assignment that you do, you will need to do a literature search to back up what you say. So you would go and start reading, and at this point it's very easy to get distracted. I would find that 2 hours had gone by and I'd just been reading and I hadn't written anything, and that can be really disheartening. So to stop this from happening, when you come across a relevant paragraph or sentence, copy and paste that point underneath the related learning objective. Keep going back to the mark scheme and remind yourself, what are the questions that I'm trying to answer? Also remember to keep track of the references. This will save a lot of time in the future when you start putting together your reference list. Step number 5. So this is when you're going to use all of the information that you've gathered and put it into a rough draft. So if it's an essay, you would write the essay. But remember, this is just rough and it does not have to be perfect. The next thing I would do is I would use the color code that I had assigned to the learning objectives and highlight what I had written. This way I could make sure that I incorporated every single learning objective into the assignment. It also let me clearly see the weighting of each learning objective. So, for example, if learning objective 1 is 20% of the entire project and I made it yellow, I would want 20% of what I had written to be yellow. If more than 50% of it is yellow, then I would know I would need to cut that back. Step number 6 is all about refining. So this is when I would look at the rubric. So to get those higher grade boundaries, you need to demonstrate analytical skills and critical thinking skills. The way that I approached this is I would demonstrate that what I have read, I have understood, and I have thought about it. The way that I approached critical thinking in my assignments is I would write, is what I have read what I expected? And if it is what I expected, then why did I expect that? And why is that important? So the key thing is to always ask yourself, why is that important? If you get to the end of a sentence and you can still ask why, that is probably where you can expand a bit further. I always got somebody else to read my work. Even if they don't know anything about physiotherapy, a fresh pair of eyes can be really, really helpful to spotting small mistakes or gaps. And then that way you can fill in those gaps before it gets submitted. Similarly, if what you have read is not what you expected, then why are you surprised? And why is that important? And also remember, you're wanting to give your opinion, but your opinion needs to be based on evidence. So your opinion also needs to be referenced, which is something that I did not know. And those are my 6 steps on how to follow a mark scheme. I hope you find them helpful, and good luck in your degree.
Thank you, Brenna, for sharing your 6-stage process. I really hope that's helpful for everyone. Please, if you're getting value from these videos, then give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with anyone else who you think will be learning from this content. And hope to see you on another video soon.